This episode of Warchant is sponsored by McMahon Cove Gilly. You can find them on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok.
The size, the shit. I was doing this shit in the damn backyard. I mean, everything. No more ass wasn't going to run the damn ball back out there.
Look at these legends.
Man, I mimicked y'all. Y'all too? Man, I was y'all in the backyard so many times. That's what's gone now, man. We talk about it all the time.
Well, let's get the recording.
Let's go. We're recording now.
Don't waste it. Yeah, we're good to go.
Yeah, we're good to go. We're recording now. You just
I didn't know if we were going to restart.
You don't get daylight.
We're good.
I thought we was going to start out with him.
Yeah, let's go ahead. Coach Lolley, tell us about the early years.
Well, they was, the early years when we combined both schools, and a lot of things I don't want to talk about because it was a lot of hard work and a lot of, like anything, there's politics involved. There's different things, you're trying to get a program built. So, but I knew this was a special place. So, I chose this place to raise my family. So, it was special to me. The tight kid, I think, was what wanted me to stay at North Jackson for the rest of my life, in which I would have if I wouldn't have had the opportunity to go in the SEC. But I was not going to move. Really, I thought we were just getting the program where we could every year walk out there. People feared us, but it was really fixing to be something. And I felt that. And I wanted to get the young men that I coached, I wanted to get their kids coming up too, to where they could hear all these stories that we tell and things that were special to us. But nothing in life is, if it's easy, it's not good.
Right.
And we practiced hard. We did the right things. The first group or two, I commend them because, they were not going to be denied. They come in and they started the tone. And as we built, a lot of you guys were sitting watching some of these guys. You wanted to play. You wanted to be a part of it. And now this group can tell you, they used to see me around Little League games. I watched them play baseball. I watched them play everything growing up. I was, very in tune to what we had coming. And that was both communities now. I knew every kid from here all the way into Tennessee. I knew who was playing and who, and I watched. But I knew this was a special group, and that's what we're kind of here tonight, to commend them. But, we had some great players, before that laid some of the foundation too, and they're just as proud of this group as I am. And they're proud to be at North Jackson, the North Jackson tradition. And once you feel it, it's there. I mean, you want it to be there. And but that's what we wanted to do. We said we wanted to build a program, not a team. We wanted a program, something that you can hang your hat on. And philosophically, I wanted a bunch of physical football players, and that's what we have with this group here. And I'm going to let them kind of have the floor here a while. I'm going to take the whole thing away from them. It's they're the one that won this thing in '93, and I was a small part of it, to be honest with you on that, because these guys, I think they could have won anywhere if all of them would have been there. I was very, very fortunate to coach them.
You players, at what point in that '93 season did y'all really believe and think, we can win state? How soon? How late?
Before we started. Yeah, really.
Before you started?
Yeah.
Spring practices.
I mean, we was the type of team, they laid out your your workout routine. They didn't have to dog us to be there to work out. You didn't have to be at a certain time because he knew we were going to get it done. That's just, we had that mentality, we're going to be a winner. Period.
We had always won. Coming up, when we were together, especially in Little League, we always won. And then once we kind of started getting split up, like in middle school, like they were good, or we were good, like my 7th grade year. Then once they moved on to 9th grade, and we moved up as 8th graders, there was a little bit of a drop off. But then once we got back together in high school, we just knew that we could win. We always had.
I'd like to have came to a practice and just sat and watched y'all's running backs go through drills. Unfortunately, I was with an age group that didn't have a stable of tailbacks. You're probably going to pick up, if you watch all of our episodes, I'm going to mention that every episode, that we had 0 tailbacks. But, man, y'all were loaded. There wasn't a weakness on y'all's team, to be honest.
Like, I've watched, maybe how many games of y'all's on YouTube or whatever. I watched the state game numerous times. But the thing that really stands out to me is the depth y'all had. Just, you were sending in one player after another. Just And so many running backs would touch the ball, not just one person.
I remember reading in the paper, and this was deep in the season, I think, once we're making a deep playoff run, and you're looking at the stats, and there's Stafford, he had like 600-700 yards. Gerard's got 600-700 yards. Ricky's 600-700. There's somebody that had about 5 or 6 running backs for 600 or 700 yards.
I think Terry
Collier.
100. Yeah.
Yeah, and the depth at running back was just crazy. And funny story is I run into, I was actually laid off from USG. It's been 10, 11 years ago. Went to work over at Bow. So I'm over there and I get to working, and there's a guy down there a little ways from me. He gets over and gets talking to me. We get talking. I said, "You from here?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "What's your name?" He said, "Terry Collier." I said, "No, you ain't." He said, "Yes, I am." I said, "No, you ain't." He said, "I am." Tony pulled out his ID card. Sure enough, it's Terry. I said, "You look like you can carry the ball now better than you did like then, because Terry's, a little chunky. Don't come at Terry. Terry's thick back then, but I mean, he looked like he's probably 180, 190 pounds and could go. But man, you talking about having some time. We had a lot of conversations during that time. But me and him, we would talk, and I was just talking about how many different running backs y'all had that year. Man, it was absurd the amount of running backs y'all had that season. And included in that is you got Ricky. Ricky was a quarterback, but Ricky was a running back playing quarterback. He could throw it, but he didn't run like a quarterback.
Chad McQuarrie, I think we were playing Gurley, and I'd run out linebacker. Didn't have no more to put in the game. I was looking around, somebody could play. I said, "I need a linebacker." You know how big Chad was back in those days. "I'll do it." He got in there, and he said, "What do I do?" I said, "You see that ball?" I said, "Go find it." And then just so happened, Terry Collier, he was ineligible to play for the 8th grade, and he had to move up. Man, didn't have to tell him nothing. He just went for the ball. He could track that ball. It was unreal. He ended up, man, one of the best.
Terry was a good athlete. Baseball, growing up, Terry was one of the best.
Who was some more 93 guys that were an integral part that aren't here tonight? Give me some more names.
You got Sean Lolley, you got Joey Gass,
Many
Mike
names.
Robert Collier.
Robert
Eric
was old
Hutchins.
enough, 93. But
Brian Wellington.
Eric Hutchins, Patrick Thomas. I mean,
Jason
Matthews,
Ferguson.
Jimmy Matthews. Yeah.
How many kids we have on that team, numbers wise?
I think when we moved everybody up at the end, we probably had, the 70s?
How many did Pepperell have when we went over there? 180?
Probably.
I remember when they came out the stretch, they just kept coming over the 50.
Yeah.
And our guys just kept going back. I was like, God dang, they got 120 kids.
Well, we done that to a team when we moved everybody up. We took the 50 back to the goal line. I don't know what year that was.
We have had the 80s. We've had the 80s out when I moved everybody up to the end. That's one group had 80 something. I want to say that this particular group had 70 something is what I want to say. But I mean, that's great numbers,
Before that's pretty
I
standard.
love
Coach
seeing
Farmer
numbers
can
now.
tell you they were on a good football team, and it wasn't North Jackson, but he used to say, "Hell, we was pretty good. We had 16 because you run everybody else off." I'm like, "Well, I had the 16 to play down it." So
We had 38 my senior year.
38?
Yeah, Rose got mad and run half the team off.
Who was it come off during the championship game and they was holding their fingers up like this? And I thought they was shooting a bird. I'm like,
Oh, that was Eric. Eric
Was Eric the one? Now I could be wrong here. It's been a long time. Like I say, I was in the 1st grade, but I was there. Was Eric dancing on kickoff when y'all was kicking the ball off after one of y'all's touchdowns? I remember somebody dancing. And it looked like
Somebody's
Eric.
asking some trouble.
Yeah.
Right off the bat.
Yeah. I was like, it was 21-0.
Coach Lowe's handshake.
I could be wrong though.
Yeah, but we knew this team was going to be special during spring, summer workouts. And I just remember, like it was yesterday, when we was practicing and we were scrimmaging. And I remember Doris Hicks walking on the field with Terry Collier. And I don't know if y'all remember that, but we was practicing on the game field. And I turned around and looked, and I was like, man, that's Terry. This team is complete. I mean, because we had depth at linebacker already and depth at running back, but Terry just made this team just that extra piece that we needed to take us over the top. So when he walked onto that field, and, you know, he was a leader also. So he was calling the defense. He was our middle linebacker. So when he walked out on the field, all I could do was smile, shake my head, was like, damn, this is going to get good. I didn't realize how good we were. And there's some teams I know we're gonna talk about. There's some teams that probably were better than us, but we finished the drill. But, you know, when Terry came out there, it was just, man, my heart was just pounding because I was like, we need this guy. He's going to be that piece that we need. And look at it, 20-plus years later.
Who did y'all play in the third round? Was it Fayette County?
Yes.
Yeah, that was the Ricky Sullivan famous game.
Fayette County, yeah.
Look at that look.
Piedmont before that, right? Was it
Piedmont was the semifinal.
Piedmont was a tough game. Piedmont was a tough game because they were a lot like us.
Yeah.
They were very physical, had a good running back, but the thing that stuck out at Piedmont, and some of the linemen here might remember, I think we got a penalty or something. The game was tight. It was in the third quarter. We get a penalty, and it comes up. It's either third and very, very long or fourth and very long. But I called a timeout because we was on their side of the field. With about 45. I think we got down around 20, 25 in the penalty. Look back. And I said, there's 3 calls we can make. 3 calls. I said, this is a critical play in this ball game here. I said, because they were tough too now. They were leaning on us. I mean, they were bringing that tail back downhill. And I said, we can run. I'll never forget. I said, R28. Maybe 1 or 2 nods. And this is when I knew this team was special. Because they know if all else fails and they stunt you and everything like that, I was going to run bloody nose. I didn't give up that. I said, I'm going to run it, and we're going to get physical, and we're finna lean on people, and we don't mind punting football because we play great defense. And I'm not going to throw the game away. There's something we can't do. So I'm sitting there, and I said, number 2 is bloody nose, and I will never forget. All the linemen shaking their damn head. And I remember winging up, that's the damn call. Right? And I said, run it. I come back to the sidelines, and it's critical. The coach is on the sideline. They says, what you got to call? What you got to call? I said, bloody nose. Coach, you see, I said, God dang it, it's the kids' game, not yours. I said, they want to run the damn thing. And I said, I kind of like it. I said, so let's watch it. So, and I can't remember if we scored or not. Y'all hit me, but I know we got the damn first down. I know that. We went on in and scored on that drive. I just can't remember. But that was critical. That's when I knew. I said, all right, now our frame of mind's thinking like I think. I just knew when that was done,
And then we stopped him on the goal.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We stopped him.
I'll tell you, you're talking about half a yard line.
That was a tough ball game to me.
That was Greg Nations, I think.
Let me ask you
Nations,
this.
that's who it was.
Was that the biggest crowd we had? Because I think
Oh,
the
man,
Piedmont
it's
game,
packed.
It was packed.
Packed.
the Piedmont game to me was the biggest crowd we ever had.
But Fayette, because that's my part of the country down there, not far from where I'm from. And my high school coach lived there that coached me before he died later on that year. But my high school coach coached me, always wanted me to play Auburn time. And he was at Fayette. So there was a huge crowd there to me too. I mean, I never forget Doris riding up, we ate at the catfish place here in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah.
And Doris Lemonhead come through there playing the song, oops, there it is. Down Cigar in that Cadillac. Y'all remember that? Doris Lemonhead was there, and they said, we finna whoop our ass tonight. Let's go. But anyway.
Who, going back to that Fayette County game, who hit the running back on the 4th and 1? It was kind of middle of the game.
It was a
you,
mixture of Gerard and Terry.
Gerard spun him around.
Spun him around.
Yeah.
Gerard cleaned his
Yeah.
clock.
Yeah.
I thought it was Gerard, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah. It was Gerard.
Was your finger broke then?
No, I broke
What
my
year?
finger the year before.
That's what we did junior year.
Stafford, I think his ankle was hurt during the championship game. Did me and you go back in?
It was my
before?
shoulder. I hurt my shoulder. I hurt my ankle the first game against Fort Payne, against the first play.
We
We were on a dive play, and the guy tackled me, hit me in my ankle.
That championship game when Coach Lolley come in there with that paper, that newspaper.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
Oh, he had us fired up, you know. Well, he done told us everything
Yeah.
that was read
They
out
kept
that
us-
paper.
It was
And
on.
it was on then. I mean, it was on.
Did we take yellow buses down there to Delma?
Oh,
No, we took charter
we took
buses.
Oh yeah, that's right. I
Listen,
broke
I've
down
never
on the way
seen
back.
nobody madder than him when they picked freaking Sylvania to beat their ass.
Oh,
God. Do you remember that?
I do.
I mean, he shut the pep rally down. He was screaming so loud.
We went in there and I remember we run Bear Week, y'all remember that? And I knew by watching their guards and things, we had our base as always, but they said Bear Week. I said, yep, whatever strength is, call it weak. Because they always set the back way. I said, they'll never get the ball off. They'll never get it back to the line of scrimmage on the 2 or 3 times. And I just remember, I think we shot them out.
Yeah, they never crossed the 50-yard line.
48 to nothing.
48 to nothing. They never crossed 50. And they picked them to beat us 19-6.
Well, all their people was over there wanting to bet our fans. They were betting the money. Because Doris walked over and said, how many are you going to beat them by? I said, as many as I can. You know. And so he said, well, they over there wanting to bet all kind of money. I said, well, I'm not into all that. I got a coach. I said, but I'm just telling you. I said, we're ready to play.
I think the only point scored on us was 2 points.
Yeah, I don't know whose brother that was.
Clayford.
One whose brother was sending the ball out on Highway 72.
Hey, he
Kevin
did-
Griner,
hey,
that's for you, okay?
hey, I'm gonna have to say he did a lot of good things.
He did do a lot of good things.
He did.
I'll still give him a hell of a. That was another shutout.
What'd you call it over? The snap?
The snap.
Left it over his head.
The snap.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Did we not have 5 shutouts after the Gunnersville game?
5 shutouts in a row.
All right.
The 2-point.
Gunners were best.
That was the first or the only point scored until the state championship. Well,
If I ain't mistaken, we gave up 76 points in 15 games.
well, let me ask you this, all of you, because of course I know several of you, but the story has always been the best thing that happened that year was the Gunnersville game. It's kind of a wake up call. What was different that week?
I think the practice schedule.
Yeah.
I think that woke us up
Yeah.
because we didn't practice. We didn't watch film Sunday, and that was unusual.
That's unusual. Very
And we went to practice. We was getting ready for practice. Was in the last block, and we heard practice was canceled on Monday, and we were trying to figure out why practice canceled on Monday. We got a game Friday, so we didn't have practice Monday. So we went out hanging out, just because we didn't know what was going to happen on Tuesday.
I know I wasn't at that game, but I was listening to it and I was like, man, I can't believe we got beat. And then from then on, I was at every game.
We fumbled 4 or 5 times.
And had a touchdown.
We was up and down.
I mean, I had a touchdown and fumbled the ball.
They kept running the stunts. I'd split 60 look, and they kept running the stunts in the A's and the B's. I had those 4 guys. So each time somebody was coming loose up in there in critical situation. So we're over there trying to get it fixed. And I just went to basically bloody nose again. Wade said, I'm fixing to pound it right at them, and when they stun, if we see an opening, we're going to hit it. Well, we broke, I don't know how many. But I think we fumbled, was it 4 or 5 times?
I don't know who
4 or 5 times. Down there,
I
I mean, we actually whipped them physically if you want to be as much as we did anybody. But you can't fumble that many times turn the ball. So I challenged them from that point on that we're not going to put the ball on the ground. I don't know if we fumbled after that. Y'all.
What was that Monday
pretty
practice
sure.
like?
We didn't have
I'm pretty
practice.
sure
Monday.
we
The
got
following
ranked.
Monday.
That we didn't. We didn't
Didn't
practice
practice
that. It was that Tuesday we practiced, and that was the worst practice of my life besides the Halloween. Because coach,
Wait,
they-
it was worse than Halloween practice.
No, it wasn't.
I don't know. I said besides the
Yeah.
Halloween
Oh,
practice.
besides the Halloween.
Because on Tuesday he took us all of the skill players, all the running back receivers. We were linemen, and all the linemen were running backs.
Correct.
So I remember trying to tackle Sean Martin and Owen.
Yeah.
I mean, they was the
Oh,
running
finally
back.
getting to play fullback.
Yeah. I mean, I just thought, they was gonna kill us all. We were gonna have nobody for the Madison County game. So
So, we did that same drill before the season, and that's when I dislocated my shoulder.
Was
That
that
was-
you too?
I think so.
Stafford and Owen.
I think it was.
Stafford went low on him and got
Stafford
over
took
him.
him down.
Now the next time Stafford went low and I thought he broke his neck. But
yeah, I mean, 'cause those guys was big. I mean, I'm 175, 180.
even after that, Coach Farmer took it a step further. You look at me and Owen. Coach Farmer backed us up about 50 yards. So there you go. So we mean there you go. He said, I'm talking 50 yards wide open. Boom. It sounded like shotguns going off over here. Bow.
That's one thing about North Jackson practice. I tell people that didn't go to school here. we talk about it all the time, the Oklahoma drills and stuff, when everybody's damn daddies over there watching. When the guy you're going against is daddy, standing beside your damn daddy.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
Oh, yeah.
hey, when they're practicing up against garbage cans right now, man, I'm gonna tell you something. We didn't go against garbage cans.
Well, then you get Lolley and Schroeder getting pissed off at each other, putting linebackers against DBs and running backs.
Oh, yeah.
And then the more animated they get, they're like, shit, let's go one more damn time.
Oh, yeah.
And they're grabbing you, putting you back in there, and man,
It was rough.
that's where you turned into men out there.
That's kind of what made us good. You got to look at the depth, like y'all said. You said the depth. Look at when we actually first teamers come up. Them ain't scrubs we're going against. They come out the next year and went 9-1, I think. You know, which he was a starter that year, but you know, we had good talent on the other side of the ball when we're actually running first offense, first defense. Wasn't no slouch. So that was one thing that helped us. No, it was the next practice was rough. That actually the week was rough, but we needed it. I think going into Gunnersville, that ranked us, moved us to number 1.
Well,
I think our head is swelled up.
Yeah.
we played 2 or 3 really good teams,
Yep.
Chad, in a row. I think we just come off of beating Franklin County pretty bad.
We did 31-0.
Yeah, and I called the dogs off of them. But they had a kicker that went on to Tennessee and was probably the best kicker in the SEC for several years, the Hall kid.
Yeah.
You remember?
Yep.
So anytime them sapsuckers got to the 50, I said, hell, that's 3 points. They in range. So about the 35-40 in, I went to goal line defenses, right?
Yep.
And so we played him, and then we turned to play Gunnersville, and they got probably the next best kicker in the dang country.
Yep.
Kevin Jim.
Yeah. And then I'm like, damn. I mean, are we ever going to get through with these guys and hit them for 50-something yards up against you? I got to play goal line defense at 50, you know, just to keep them out of range. And but anyway, Jenna wasn't the reason that night, but it was the fact that I thought that I couldn't tell them anything. You know, this team can beat you if you don't play hard. Well, we go out there and start it 1 damn nothing, so we boot. You know, now all of a sudden, better watch God. Better watch. I've done said that 2 or 3 weeks in a row. You know, so it was wake up.
Well, my senior year, which was a long time ago, it took a state record to beat us against Bridgeport.
Yep, he had 160 something.
Ross,
Yep,
Yep.
sure did.
Steve,
Stone Cold Steve Ross.
Stone Cold Steve. Ross.
Roaster.
Yeah, North Jackson's never just been littered with kickers.
No.
So we talk all the time on the radio and we play these teams
Holyfield.
can go get 3 from 40, 50 yards. I'm like, man, if we had that to add to what we always had, if we could just go get 3, hell, we could have won a bunch of games there scoring a touchdown.
Little Holyfield guy sent him to kicking camp. I'll never forget it. Because, like you said, we don't have a lot of soccer teams, right? So anyway, I sent him to camp. He got his shoe, and he came out there and he practiced, you know. He wanted to play quarterback for us, you know, first year. But you say, is it all worth all the effort? Why do you want to work with this kid all the time on kicking, this, that, and the other? But just stop and think about it. What happened to Scottsboro the first time we played at our place? Who hit the field?
Got beat by the kicker.
The kicker. Yeah, the kicker beat them, and I said, well, that's worth all the damn, you know, whatever it took, you know, just to beat them on that field goal. And again, you never know, right? But we kept working him and kept working. The next thing you know, he got his moment. And, you know, to me, that was one of the biggest wins because we showed at that time when we moved up with Bridgeport and Stevenson. We played a hell of a schedule. But, you know, they always look down their nose at that point, you know.
Right.
All of a sudden, now it's on.
Not only did we not have a tailback, Stafford, we didn't have a kicker either by a year. Remember Juan Castillo, with the exchange student, he wore the damn paint off the crossbar because that was as far as he could kick. He'd hit the damn crossbar and he'd go in.
Well, I have a story about kickers.
I think so. We tried to make it look there. Go ahead.
Perfect segue. I don't know why. I have no clue still to this day why Coach them had me trying to be the kicker for extra points, field goals. But I do remember the practice like it was yesterday. And, you know, I'm back there warming up. And I didn't want to kick straight ahead. I didn't want to put the strap on the toe, your toe sticking. I didn't want to do that. I want to be a soccer kicker. And I just remember stepping back and stepping a couple steps to the side, and I kicked it. Hit Brian Wellington squaring his ass. Brian Wellington, he turned around, he looked at me, and he was just like, and he shook his head. Coach like, let's try it again. Same thing, I got about 3 yards back, couple steps to the side. Pow! Dead in his ass again. Brian got the hopping around. He had his fist balled up. I was like, man, this guy gonna kill me.
20.
Third time. I was like, okay, I got it this time. I said, I gotta make one or he gonna kill me. Backed up, stepped a couple yards to the side, and coach kept saying, keep your head down, keep your head down. I don't know, I always wanted to see the ending piece. So I had my head up when I kicked it. Brian hit Brian dead in his ass again. He got to bouncing around. I was like, oh, it's gonna be the death of me now, because I know he was pissed, but I looked at the coach and said, that's it. I can't do this. That wasn't the job for
They
me.
had tryouts over
We
there.
had tryouts. We couldn't find the kickers.
Well, believe it or not, I used to kick.
Oh, man.
That was a bad thing.
Yeah.
Well, Eric kicked off. Well, he
They worked it out.
one step.
Could kick.
Took one step,
Eric
kicked to the
done
end
kickoffs,
zone.
Yeah.
Mike done extra points. They worked it out.
Yeah.
One step, kick it all the way to the end zone. Well, y'all, we touched on a bunch of stuff with the '93 season now. Me and Coach Lolley talked a couple days ago, and we were talking about how we wanted y'all to be able to open up and talk. So now y'all have the floor to tell any stories, anything about them years that Coach Lolley probably don't know about that you won't have to run for now. No Halloween practices, no running. What y'all got?
Oh, you putting us on the spot.
You tell on anybody that ain't here.
Oh, I know y'all hated me at times.
Well, I mean,
I had all of y'all together.
I told Coach last time, I was just waiting. That first year we moved up, I was just waiting for the first person to walk off. I didn't want to be the first, but I was going to be the second. I ain't sure who it was. And I was told Stout, I'm telling you, Stout, the first person walk off was right behind me.
And I was going to be right behind Gerard.
Halloween practice.
I don't know how many 40s. I don't know how many 40s we ran that day. I mean,
A lot.
What was it? What practice was
That was the
the
Halloween
Halloween
practice.
right that first one was Bobby Mitchell and Michael Buchanan and all them played. That was our freshman year, our first week of moving. What did I do?
He was still
Yeah, y'all just moved
Go
up.
ninth graders.
Coach walking around the field house talking about
Bobby looks like he can play.
I don't know why y'all ain't putting them pads in them pants. Everybody like, what's going on?
I don't even know him.
We
I
don't
looked him
put
up on
pads in the
Facebook.
pants when we taking pictures.
He's a middle linebacker
We
right now.
like, what's going on here? Y'all better get them pads in them pants. So we
I
get
remember Keyhole telling me, he said, man, I got kids, I don't need this shit.
So we went and took the pictures. Then he said, okay, everybody go in there and get dressed out. We come back out. He said, all right. He said, offense against defense. He said, offense, you get 10-yard defense run. Defense, you stop them. Offense run. He said, all right, y'all on the side. He said, y'all cheer for both sides. Y'all run every time. Probably about, I think we probably did 140 there.
Oh, yeah.
It was hurting. I mean,
Cheer
didn't
for both
nobody
sides
quit.
and run every time.
cheer for both
That's a hell of a
sides
deal right there.
and run every time. Oh, first week moving up.
It was bad.
It was bad.
I remember we started
That
our ninth
probably
grade year. We were our first class. I had class. Me and you had several of us sitting there, and I remember sitting in there, and Mr. Smith early on telling us about the Halloween practice. Of course, we'd heard about it, but he was telling us his version of it, and I mean it was pretty intimidating when you're in the ninth grade and you're playing football and you're thinking about moving up after the year. And, you definitely don't want to go through any of that.
That was, I'm telling you, that's probably the roughest. We went through another one. Well, after probably about 2 years out there, we went through another. But
We went through one.
It wasn't as intense as that
That would
first.
straighten your ass up. We didn't have to go through all
Yeah,
that.
We went through,
We went trick or treating on
I'll have
Halloween.
it.
Yeah.
We went through one during basketball season too.
Uh-huh.
And I kept telling Gerard, we kept looking at each other. That was our senior year. I think Coach Jones was helping coach.
Yeah, well, I left
And so, of
that.
course, he was part of the football staff. So he was going to take that same formula that coach was using there for that Halloween practice and made us run during basketball. I looked at Gerard and said, man, damn this, I'm gone. And Gerard looked at me, he's like, you go, I go. And we just kept end to end. And the next thing I know, Gerard was in the locker room. And I'm looking around like, well, I guess I need to go too.
You can type up Halloween practice on Facebook or whatever, and you'll have people just, they'll be it. They'll be telling their story
That
about
was
it.
rough.
Talking about that one though, we're talking about, when you're a coach, you get put in situations sometimes that I was going to be a discipline bunch, I told the coaches, I said, well, I told the players now. I told the players, I said, I understand if you got to go out on Halloween, because I had to raise my brothers and sisters, and I was the oldest, and I used to have to take them door to door, you know, get their little stuff. And I said, I get it. I don't mind y'all going out, but we got a ball game, and I don't want to hear of a bunch of throwing eggs and folks in trouble out there, and one of you get arrested or something. I said, just don't do it. I'm warning you now. I'm warning you. So then I told the coaches, I said, you know, they're going to go out. They're going, but I've told them now, okay? I said, so I don't want to hear any mess. We got a big game. Well, the coaches come in next morning. I ain't going to say which coach did it. He walked right up to me.
I know.
Right up to me. Did you hear about it? I said, I want to hear it. They said, did you hear about it? And he just spits it out. There's all kind of teachers and coaches in it. Oh, I said, now I said, you think I'm going to turn my back? You don't think I ain't fixing to hit this head off?
You had bus duty that morning.
Yeah, oh yeah, I had bus duty like I always did out there, you know, make sure everybody come in, because he wanted me out there, because I could get them in, right? But anyway, I sat there and I said, do you realize that you have forced me now to do something, that I'm not going to turn my head? And so anyway, he goes, well, I didn't, I mean, I just did, I said, I told you I didn't want to hear about it. So anyway, I thought I was forced to have to, my word, what I said.
You doing something about it.
I said, you know, I gave my word, and now I'm fixing to do something about it. And, you know, but I got to let them know when I say something now, and pertaining to the team, we got to all buy in and be on the same page. And I expected to lose some that day. I had to do it for them. And I expected to lose some. I said, but I'll get down to the, you know, nitty gritty. You know, I'll find folks that want to fight through things and do things, you know, right, wrong, or indifferent. But, and I'm going to say this, I'm going to hush because it's these guys' thing, but Farmer, I'll tell you again, I had a similar situation. I got down to like 17 players before I ever came up here. And we're going to play a team that had the longest winning streak in the state of Alabama. And I was down to what they called my fateful 16. I believe I had 16. They could play. I wasn't worried about it. They could play. But I got the bus, and I'm even driving the bus. Here we go, 16 players, and we go, well, we're going through Selma, Alabama. We're going to play this team that's won about 40-something straight, right? And the cop pulls me over. Cop, on the bus. I said, sir, what you do? Well, one of your boys stole a wrapper out the window. I said, did what? He said, yeah. I said, it's littering. I said, serious? Yeah. So I found out which one doing it. So anyway, we go out there, and we had a full-scale scrimmage. From the time we got there, we put the pads on until the game started. We were so beat up, tired, and here we played the top-ranked team with 16 boys. We whooped their ass up. Let me just tell you, we whooped them, and we scrimmaged at halftime. And I told them, I said, if we lose this, this is going to be a picnic compared to tomorrow. But I learned real quick. Sometimes you get what you know you strive for. But I've been wrong at times too. Sometimes you never know. You know.
You got pissed off at us at a jamboree at Gas, and you walked out there and you said, shit, y'all's asses ain't ready to play. Let's do a damn scrimmage. And we scrimmaged for about 45 minutes before the kickoff of that game, man. We was damn dead.
And that's one thing you never had to do with us. We're coming out ready to go.
Hey, as long as you didn't drink a soda before the game.
Oh, shit.
That might get ugly.
We did lose one on account of that. Yes, we did.
I was fixing to say, I always heard that we lost one over that hope.
Yes.
Missed out on a ring over a Dr. Pepper.
Yes.
A delicious
Sprite.
Dr. Sprite.
Don't get it twisted. Come on, man, you gotta get it right.
He come by, snatched that up off that table. Nobody looked at him. That's the end of it.
We should have brought a Sprite in tonight. Just put it on the table.
He was already pissed.
Coach.
Farmer says I'm mellowed now, so.